Hello, Steven. I'm using an AxeFxTutorials. There's a updated amp version, but I'm going to switch to the FM3 right now. You're not going to see it, or you're going to hear it. What are you listening on? That is usually what determines how good or bad something can sound. So what do you have it plugged into? Steven on YouTube. Because should sound good. Since we're on blah, 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 I'm going to switch this to channel 7. There we go. Okay, those are speakers. I don't use them, so they are... Boo, boo, boo. Okay. Okay. So you have it plugged in there. What isn't good about it? I know you have to type, sorry, but what can you describe what isn't good? Like, what does that mean? Because like, if I don't know if you're listening through now, but is what I'm playing, does it sound good, quote unquote? Mine sounds good. Okay. Yeah. So it can sound good. We've determined that. So to me, I'm going to do this on the, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this on the Axe, but this should sound similar to you just because I don't have the FM3 visible right now. So I'm going to go to new preset. I saved? I did. Let's go to new preset. This is how I like to determine what may or may not need to change. I think are you into high gain at all? Or do you like clean sounds? Like, what are you going for? Oh, it took a long time. I don't know why it took so long. Okay, output 1, put an amp block and a cab block. What do I use? Factory 2 350. We'll just go right there. Factory 2. Oh, no, Factory 2. I know how to use this thing. Trust me. Okay, so we have that. What I like to do is just start with the Friedman amp. I think it has a good all-around Marshall-y sort of sound, you know, that most people can get into. So I like the, I don't know which one I like these days. Let's try this one, the Friedman HBE. So right now, again, this is the Axe. Okay, so maybe some gain. There's some jazz guys who don't want to hear any gain, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, so let me just see what this sounds like. And let me put a volume pedal just for the stream. I need to control things a little bit. What's going on here? Whoa, that is something going on. Let's see. Let me just put this on here real quick. What am I plugged into? This? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm at all default settings on the Friedman. It's the first HBE model. The cab I chose is Factory 2 350. And I'm just going to play. And we can adjust it, of course. But yeah, let's just see what happens. It's a little loud for stream, so I'm going to turn it. Hello? Yeah, there we go. I don't know why something's. Oh, I know why. Because I'm back here now. Hold on. Stream stuff. Okay, there. Okay, that's better. I was wondering. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the volume for stream. Okay, so the Friedman HBE, the first model, any of them really. And then I personally like cab Factory 2 350. There's another one I use, but we'll keep it simple. Straight up, no changes. This is what I get. Hopefully this should sound like quote unquote good. I'm going to do the same thing on the FM3 off screen just to, let's see. Just so, because the modeling is slightly different, we have an update here. But it should sound relatively the same. Let me set up the same exact thing on the FM3 off screen. And I'll play through that and see what that sounds like. Cab. Factory 2 350. And what amp is this? This one. Friedman HBE. And then this one I don't have a volume pedal on, so let me see what my FM3 is sounding like. Here's the same thing. TC2290, let's find out. I'll add it to this preset in just a second. I am... Okay, so for Steven, this is, you're hearing the FM3, but I'm showing the Axe3. It's the same thing right now. I loaded this amp and this cab, and this is what it sounds like on the FM3. Now, I'm going to reduce some low end, because it sounds like there's a lot of low end. Okay, I'm going to reduce a little bit of treble. Yeah, so this... I know you're not seeing, again, I have the FM3 off to the side. I'm editing it there. But all I'm doing is basic bass, mid, treble, that sort of thing. All I did was this. Just copying the... My capture won't get the FM3 for some reason today, so I got to keep that off screen. Now, you can improve that tone, but just as a base level, like a foundational level, this should sound good. A Friedman into like a 412 cab. I happen to choose this one. If that's not sounding like mine, you need to check your cables, your output mode setup, that sort of thing. We can help you a little bit easier on the forum. You can post pictures and stuff, or whatever we might need. But if this sounds good on mine, it could be your guitar, it could be the style of pickups, battery needs to be changed on an active guitar pickup system, cable needs to be changed, all those sorts of things. Because this is digital and it's firmware that we all have, it shares the same thing. So if I set it like this, the FM3 will sound the same on yours. If it doesn't sound the same, it's usually something else making the difference. Just for stream, I'm going to switch back to the Axe 3 because I have a little more control over it, and you can see it, but this is what this one sounds like. And we'll get to that 2290 in just a second. Now the Axe, we're testing a public beta that has a slight different tone. Well, I think it's massively different, but it's pretty close for this. So try it out. Try these things, the Friedman into like the 412, 51, 53 cabinet. It should sound like quote unquote good as a starting point. From there, you can EQ it. If it doesn't, I would check your other cables or run sound through your monitor. Like if you're hearing me through those monitors right now, you can achieve that with your FM3 for sure. So while I wait for that, let's add a delay. Now I've never tried a 2290. Is that what it is? Yeah. So many numbers. Like personally, I've never used a real one, but let's just see. So we need to be in stereo and one side is phase reversed typically. So we'll try it with this tone. We'll see what happens. Yeah, good job. Yeah, good for Steven. Yeah, it's a place to start. The factory presets should sound good in general, but like I always like that 1 amp and cab as like a test to hear the room. I know what that amp should sound like. So it gives me a good starting point. From there, you have to adjust the bass for your room. If your room is small, there's a lot of bass frequencies building up. It can like totally clog the whole thing. If there's too many highs, like if there's glass in your room and it's a small room, it can like bounce off and like be shrill. So yeah, we do have to be a little bit sound guy minded with this kind of stuff. Same thing with an amp. It's just you don't have the controls on a real amp. So you're just like, often we go, oh, I can't do anything about that. Okay, and like we get used to it in our mind. With this, because there's so many controls, some people get like frustrated because I should be able to control it, but I can't figure it out. But with an amp, you're just like, that's what an amp sounds like. We could do the same thing for this, but it could be room and all of that kind of stuff. What monitors am I using? I am using no monitors right now. Right now, I'm using my in-ears. It's like the low-end Shure I have for this. I'm running it through a mixer and then through an audio interface that goes to stream. So there are no speakers on right now. But generally, I'll use QSC, K10s, the CP8, those speakers. I also use a EV, one of their tower systems, the Evolve 30. But I gig all different places with all different types of sound systems. And generally speaking, I can get it to sound good without, I'm usually adjusting the mixer. Because the way I see it, if you can get the FM3, the AxeFx, whatever, sounding good in one room with the same setup, generally the only thing you need to adjust at a new room is the EQ for the space. Because everything in the unit sounds the same. It's outputting the same exact signal, but the room, the speakers, the physics of everything can change what we perceive from it, right? So from there, it's just EQ in general. If you can generally EQ it, it should sound good. Yeah. Low budget, no problem. I will say that lower quality speakers do not put out the sound of higher quality speakers. I'll put it that way. I think we all know that, and it's okay. I used the Axe through, what was it? Like those old computer monitors that had a cable together a long time ago. It still sounded good, but I kept in mind what the speaker will produce. It won't produce massive low end, you know, whatever. So don't worry about your speakers. If you can plug it in and play and have fun, that's all that matters, right? So yeah, I don't use the 2290 too much, so we'll mess around with it if you have any suggestions of what you want me to do. But if I was using monitors, so when you say monitors, Madagascar, you a NASCAR fan? There's studio monitors on stage. There are like monitors for stage, like bigger stuff. Either one. Often I will plug directly into the monitors if that's all I'm using. Because I'm here at home with my setup, I am using a mixer because I have other things to plug in, the microphone, the AxeFx3 and the FM3 and so on. So I am using a monitor, a mixer. I am using a mixer, but that's more for like being able to control everything. Me personally, since I have a sound background, I do sound for things too. I also enjoy having a mixer in general, so I can control things a little more easier from like a sound guy point of view, right? But you can just plug straight to your monitors if you want to. Just watch your volumes and, you know, make sure it's the right volume for the speaker and all that. So that's the 2290 going on. This is all fun stuff. Yeah. What else we got? Yeah. Not as many controls as I thought there would be. Modulation, I guess it's on. There we go. Yeah, clean tone with this delay with the 2290. Oh, it's ready to go. Blah, 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 a little less level. Since we're live, I gotta like adjust a few things for stream, so it's not so crazy. Let me copy this over. Hey, thanks for the sub. The YouTube sub. I've been trying to do this more often, just hang out, but time is limited sometimes. Let's go to B. I actually have to take a quick break and put some things in the dryer, but let's finish this real quick. So we'll do a dotted eighth, boop, 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 and we'll do up, up. Let me increase the mix. Reduce the feedback a little bit. Let me make this a little brighter. I wanted to go faster. I forgot I have to change that tempo. Yeah, that's a pretty good mix. I don't know what I'm trying to play here. I might have to I might have to use this delay myself. My gosh, that sounds good. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna change the amp. I kind of want a little bit of grit on it. Just a touch from this. The list is getting long. Let me get a volume here. Let's see what this. Wow, that modulation is really kicking in. We are building a preset, guys. I'm going to try the chorus in front. I haven't done that in a while. Let me just see. It's going to mono it, and then we'll put some reverb. We'll do the gold plate. That's recently new. Let me turn off the delay so I can always turn off the other effects so you can hear what just the new effect does first. So we're doing reverb real quick. I'm gonna go to the lowest quality reverb so we can hear it. Let me kick that up. I'm gonna turn this down just because when the guitar plays, my mic turns off. And I'm gonna turn, where is this? I'm gonna reduce some of the low end on the reverb. Is this what it's like to be Leon? Okay, let me mix it in a little bit more. We're gonna over accentuate it here. Okay, and then, so that's fine. I'm gonna turn off the reverb for now. We're gonna turn on the chorus. See what we got. Got a bunch of, is there a way to save your live streams? Yeah, I can leave them up. The problem is it's so long because it's live and like I'm just playing around for a bit and then the thing happens. A lot of people complain like, I can't find the part where it's a live stream. I'll leave this one up. It's going to unlist as soon as I'm done, but I'll put it back on. But yeah, before I was like editing them, but it takes so long. So I'd stream for 2 hours, then I would edit for 3 hours to get like just the pieces. And then, so yeah, that's a thing. I'll try to leave this one up if I can remember. But yeah, let's work on the chorus. There's a bunch of options here. The one I like often is the Japanese. And it's in front of the amp. So we'll move it after the amp. I just wanted to hear this first. Or we can do one of the dimensions. Yeah, we'll do that one. So since it's running into the amp, it's kind of distorting a little bit. Let's try this. We'll turn it all on, and then I'll move the chorus after the amp. Want a little more reverb, actually. Maybe a little less of that. I really want a lot of reverb. I forgot what I was playing before. So that sounds good. Let me move the chorus after the amp, and we should hear a very different sound. thank you so much. Thank you so much for the tip on my coffee page. Appreciate it. So yeah, maybe that's a little gritty. I can turn that gain down. Make it clean again. But yeah, so a quick comment on the AxeFX is hard. That's not that hard. You just got to learn where the things are. A lot of people who I've helped over the years are like, oh, this thing's so confusing. I don't know. It's hard to use. That was the thing. It's hard to use. I said, okay, show me how you do it. He said, okay. So I put the amp block. How do I put the amp block again? I mean, that's a basic. You got to learn how to get the things in there. So if you're running into like, I don't know how to do this. Now I don't know how to do this. I don't know where this is. Yes, of course it's going to be frustrating. But once, you know, like he was telling me, put this, I know where to do that. Is this low enough CPU? Oh yeah. This is nothing. Well, the reverb is always going to be, you know, the challenge. So you want to put the reverb block in there first. But yes, something like this would definitely run on the FM3. Yeah, no problem. I like building things if I know how to do it. But yeah, that 2290, I have never used it for my tones. I might want to change. So this is like, maybe I'll save this fun clean chorus thingy. Let me save that. But yeah, so where did I put it? Let me reset these. I thought I put it. Oh, right, it's right next to it. Okay. Wow, I'm smart. So yeah, this is my normal preset. So so that's my delay block here. Oh, I got to change that. Keep doing that wrong. Yeah, my delay block is ready to do the dotted eighth thing. Now this entire preset wouldn't fit on an FM3. There's 2 amps. They only have 1 amp, and it's a bit much. So I did make a pared down version. I used basically the same thing on the FM3 without, most of it's actually here. I don't have the reverb because I run out. I don't need reverb. It's an effect for me. And a couple of these blocks aren't there, but most of this is here. What was I going to do? I needed to adjust this foot switch real quick because I keep previous channel is what I want. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is my. And the reason I run out of CPU on the FM3 versus someone else is because this row down here is for the piezo on this guitar. So that's the guitar making the sound, not an acoustic simulator. And then the multi-comp block uses a bit much on the FM3. So I need that. I don't need reverb. But all of this other stuff is just effects. Or like effect type things, added things. So like this thing. So oh boy. I gotta wait for the thing to fade out. Okay, there we go. I use that instead of a reverb block because I just want a long trail of stuff. So I use this multi-delay block instead of the reverb on the FM3, and it pretty much does what I want. And when I combine it with the acoustic, you've heard this before if you've been here. Waiting. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there are ways to get certain things out of the FM3. you know, things like that. So the way I do it is I treat this basically as a reverb. It's a multi-delay, but it's like on, oh, I still got to fix this. This is all wrong. It's just diffusing things. Yeah, so I was just about to say, so this thing gives a long, I have to explain it first and then play. This thing gives the long delay sort of thing. And then this filter block is taking the frequencies and moving it back and forth slowly. You can see this. So when I turn that on, you'll hear the result. It's cutting all this top stuff, right? And it's just moving sort of this kind of like a wah pedal in a way. So I'm going to play and then turn the filter block on. So a lot of high end gets lost right here above 2K, all gets filtered out. Blah, blah, blah. We'll stay in the key of G. So I do that on the FM3 all the time. Again, most of this is in the FM3 for me. We're at half, like 45% on the Axe3. I'm right around 78% on the FM3. I do not have a reverb block in there. That's why it fits. The reverb is like 20, 50, I don't know how many delays, basically. So that takes a lot of processing power, right? So if you want reverb in your preset for the FM3, definitely put it in there first and then build around it. And use the economy mode, the lowest mode there is, and you'll get more CPU available. For this reverb, I just have, it's like a clearer version of that long delay I just had. So waiting. I really should change that. So when I use the big boy, the Axe3 at gigs, I have an option between the sort of like lo-fi trail sound or like a more a thicker modern reverb sound like that, if I need that sort of thing. I usually slap them at the end of songs to extend the time so I can figure out what song I'm doing next and stuff like that. Sometimes I use it in song. Again, since I use my guitar has a split output, I can roll in the electric sounds as much as I want. So, I mean, the main reason I use the Axe is I was looking for a single unit that could take 2 inputs at least, and I could blend the two with the guitar like this and use a volume pedal on the electric, copy John Petrucci basically, have his guitar, obviously. So there's that. But yeah, I like doing that. But just focusing on like just a single guitar, electric guitar, there's so many possibilities, including on the FM3. Any unit has its limits. You're gonna hit the threshold of what you can do, and you gotta like go from there. So it depends. Like get the right unit for you if you can. Seems like the AxeFx will save me thousands compared to dedicated pedals. Yeah. Lately, I'd say in the last 10 years or more, something like that, pedal companies, everyone's made a drive pedal. Everyone's copied the TS-808. Everyone, the Tube Screamer. Everyone's copied the this. Everyone's copied the that. It seems to me like, especially when like the pod really started getting recognized, Line 6, and other people got into modeling. I'm not a big pedal guy, so I don't know too much of it because I use this. But it seemed like a lot of pedals were being made to combine things. So on the forum right now, on Fractal Forum, a lot of people are like, oh, can you get me this sound from this pedal? And what that pedal is doing is combining delay and distortion. And they're like, how do I do that? And it's like, well, you can combine delay and distortion, put the delay and make it run into whatever, right? And that's how I get this sound. But let's say the pedal came out and had that exact kind of synthy sound you were asking about earlier. They'd be like, how do I put that pedal in? I was like, well, it's kind of in there. You just might have to put some pieces together to make it do that. Because there aren't too many like new technologies. I don't know if that's the right word. Like there's delay, there's compression, there's distortion of various types, that sort of thing. So they're all building blocks. And maybe the newest pedal I've seen come out was that sustain pedal. It looks like a piano sustain pedal. Again, I don't look into pedals too much, but like that was a new one. Like a new tech, basically, that we didn't have before in a pedal format. But yeah, the Axe could save you thousands for sure. But the whole reason I said all that is it may not do every single thing in the world. And that's when you want to buy the pedal that does that has that specific sound. Like everyone wants a POG pedal in here, polyoctave generator, I think that's what it means, the electro harmonics. And yeah, that would be great. But if you need that sound, people are like, I need that sound or else I can't play, just buy the POG pedal, in my opinion. Just go get the pedal. It's already there. Oh, but then I have to plug in more cables. Yes. Yes, we do. But then you have it and you can play. Like the way I like to teach or like help people is like, my goal is to get them so they can play. Some people get stuck in this thing where I have a list of 100 pieces of criteria and it has to fit that or else I can't gig. I'm like, well, if you can't gig, you can't make money or you can't have fun or you can't show your friends that you play. Let's get you to playing. And yeah, are there going to be compromises? Hey, welcome to life. Welcome to life, compromises. All that, yes. And then, yeah, there's a ton of amps. We're at like 300 something. And yes, we do channels counted as an amp. So the Mark V was recently introduced. And yes, it's the same amp and they're different channels. We just say amps, amp models, whatever. But we're at 326 now. There's a ton of stuff in here to get you a tone you may or may not want. And yeah, you do have to spend time trying out the new amps and things like that. But again, such is life. I updated my sounds and they're close, but all of the amps had more mids, a more controlled bass low end, and more clarity on the top. And so this one right here, this is, oh, you were probably here. The pre-clean, USA pre-clean, preamp clean, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Triaxis. I can actually turn the bass up. I did cut it, of course, to fit the sonic space I want it to take up. But that's pretty close to what I had before. And I have a little more punch and clarity. I guess I could go to my preset on the FM3 and compare it now. That would make sense. So this is, yep, Axe sound. And the FM3. Yeah, way more muted. And that could have been a conscious decision, but way darker. That's the Axe. So it's like, it's just more alive and sparkly. And then like the high gain stuff, oh, that's the wrong one. I want this one. I also have my like this thing that has songs on it. What's that song called? I don't even know how to play it. I don't know how to play any of these songs. Oh, what song is that? Well, heaven, let your light shine. Shine? Shine? Yeah, Shine. Collective Soul. Let's try it. I don't know how to play any of these songs anymore. I used to be like a rocker type of guy. Then I went to like general music and I forgot how to play rock guitar. That's how it goes sometimes. Just checking the forum real quick. Man, this weird guitar person guy keeps posting. I'm kidding. I know it's you. Let's see what this sounds like. This is someone else's, recording. I have a license for it and all that. Oh, it's in D flat? No, thank you. Put it up in... Oh, D? Ah, we're in drop D. Well, I'm going to put it in E. I don't care. I just want to hear what my guitar sounds like. Oh, boy. So, okay, I'm going to go back down. So, probably playing it in D. This volume actually could come up on my amp. -9. Yes, I am here for questions. Otherwise, I just talk a lot. What's up? Let me know your question, and I will see if I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, in general, the new amps are like just sitting in the mix better, less compression in like the low end. Yeah. Yeah. D, were they in drop D for that song? Oh, that's why. Yes, no problem. Ask your question and I will do my best. Yeah, I know. So they must have been in drop D. Hello, happy streaming. Yes, thank you. This is the Axe Turbo. I do have that one. It's great. I had the original Axe 3 as well, and yeah, I'm not really pushing this one like far past what the original could do. I'm not using those, what was it, full res cabs. So I mean, basically, it's the same. So. Turbo's great if you can get it, if that's all they have or something, and you can get it. But yeah, there's a lot to be done on all the other models, FM3 all the way up. But yeah, I didn't tell anyone about this stream. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I can stream for another 2 hours if I need to. I'm like going for it today. But yeah, it's always weird telling people to come because live streams, and again, feel free to ask your questions. I just talk until there's something. But live streams are weird. This audience, a lot of times you tell them, oh, hey, I'm streaming live, and they expect like a show or like a lot of things. That's why I call this a hangout. I'm just here doing things, and you're kind of in control of my streams if I know the answer to questions and stuff. Let's play some Blink. Let's see what my tones sound like on a Blink song. For now, I have whoa, sorry about that. I have the AxeFx2 XL Plus. Okay. Upgrade, and now I'm waiting for... Oh, you got the turbo. Okay, yeah. So the AxeFx3 is a little bit different than the AxeFx2. The limit you want to go to on the Axe 2 generation, you could go up to about 90% on the CPU. On this generation, there's more capability, but you want to go for about 80% as the maximum. Okay? Just keep that in mind. You want to go for about 80% as the maximum of the CPU on the AxeFxTutorials FM9, FM3. It's just, they're more capable, but for some reason, that's sort of the limit with everything it has to do. So just keep that in mind. 80% is your maximum that you want to shoot for. That said, it can do so much, and this is the turbo. So I'm going to show you a crazy preset. Is it this one? This is my full preset when I'm using the AxeFx3 as like a mixer. I have 4 inputs. I'm splitting one of the inputs, 2 of the inputs actually, to do different things. I have electric guitar stuff. I have acoustic guitar stuff here. I have my microphone going in it actually off of a wireless. And then I have a backing tracks input as well going to 3 separate outputs. So for the AxeFx3, there's a ton you can do. And with this, I'm only at 67%. I could add more, increase the quality in, say, the cab block or the reverb block or something like that. There's a lot more room on this one. This has a ton of headroom. So I don't know. If you're maxing out the AxeFx3 Turbo, you're just going for max quality on everything. Like, this is crazy. This took a lot of time to develop and a lot of time to remember at the gig, what does this button do and how do I have this routed? But this is an extreme in my thought. This is like a lot going on, right? So yes, you can do a lot on the AxeFx3 Turbo, but at only 67%, I think on a regular AxeFx3, I would have been at like 72, 75 perhaps. So I still had room for a couple of blocks and things like that. Where was I? I don't remember. This one? So I took away a lot of that for stream. I tried my preset with 92 on just had a good server. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. So you have some experience with it. Good. Yeah, and also the Axe2 only had like 2 channels, X and Y. You get so much out of it. I show this a million times. So sorry if you've been here and seen it. But like this preset, I have 4 amps in here, right? A lot of channels now have 4 different things versus 2. So that's how I run my presets now. 1 big preset. I have a clean sound. I'll turn this off. I have a clean sound. I have a mid-gain crunch sound. I have a metal sound that still needs some work. And I have a high-gain lead sound with a different version of that amp. And then in this preset, I put a second amp, which I rarely do because it gets confusing, but I have a second amp, and I'm just using one of them right now for like a Marshall sound that we just heard a moment ago. And I have 3 channels not used, right? Spit if the machines together. I don't know, man. That's too many. That's too many things. But yeah, you can do a lot with this. Just changing scenes and changing to the 4 different amps. So for example, I use the same amp for my clean tone with a detune chorus on it. And that amp turns into my lead tone by using an EQ block to boost the volume and cut a bunch of frequencies. So this is the same amp. Yeah, no problem. If you have more questions, please. That is exactly why I'm here, to show some stuff. But yeah, so in this case, I can use the same amp and change other things to affect its tone. So a lot of people are like, oh, how come there's not 8 amps per block? Well, you know, there's memory limits and stuff like that. 8 amps to match the 8 scenes totally makes sense. But you can use the same amp and use other blocks to adjust it. So right now I have the EQ off, and it's my clean sound, my clean rhythm sound. Or I can adjust other things, turn off the compressor, turn on the EQ, change the delay, and now the same amp is my lead. Right? So keep that in mind. You can do what you did before. You have your clean tone, and then you use pedals to change the amp, change what it did. Same thing. You can still do that. And especially if you're used to that, like, you can replicate it in the Axe. You can do the same thing, and then you're not like doing something completely different. Like every single thing is different. You're used to having a clean amp with pedals in front of it or behind it or however you want to do it. And you just have it in the digital realm now. The back-end refrigerator rig on the other. Oh, yeah. What was I gonna play? I forgot. I forgot what we were doing. I'm gonna turn on the music. I'm gonna take a camera break. But yeah, there's so many options. I just happen to have the Axe up right now because we're testing the new firmware. That was just the test version, the beta version. It is a test. It may change. Keep that in mind. Yay things. Have you tried assigning a BPM tap to any button when you select a preset? I saw that as a trick. So you have the FM9. Assigning a BPM tap to any button when you... I'm not quite sure what that means. But if you mean like when you... I actually don't know what that means. 5 presets on 2 banks. Okay. Well, you can save the tempo per preset. I actually don't know how to do it on edit. Huh. How do you do that? Having a mental break. But you can save the tempo per preset. So when you change presets, it's a new tempo for you. The presets are not important. The important thing is that when I press button 1, that button 1 becomes... Oh, because I signed it to... Oh, yeah. So you're using like layout links and per preset things. Yes, absolutely. Preset 1, which I have crunch, that button 1 becomes BPM tap. Sure. When you're talking about foot switches and like making them do different things, you can use the layout links. So that's that one. Layout links. When I press a preset, all the buttons, switches change to something else if you want it to another layout, right? One of these. So now it does something different, right? So that is a very important part of the ecosystem here, using the switches. And when you press preset, for example, preset 1, everything changes. So your scenes pop up and all of that, right? The presets are not important. Yeah. So I set per preset override to that button. It comes with a tap, and that's great for me because that's how I like to use it. Okay, cool. I swear playing the 7 string is going to break my thumb because of the neck. Other buttons, you can select presets. Yep, makes sense. All right, I think we're waiting for a question, so he's typing. I'm going to just play some things. Wait for the reverb. Wait for the reverb. Okay, I think we're still waiting for a question from Vidran, if that's pronounced correctly. But we have a USB question. So can I push? Let me see. I haven't ever used the output USB, or actually, there is no output USB. There's no USB out block. There's an in block, but not an out block. Push sound into OBS to have an opportunity to monitor sound from the Axe with another sound interface to synchronize all the inputs. So the way I like to use OBS is I use a hardware mixer. I happen to use X32, and I plug everything into there. Because it's a mixer, I can adjust the volumes and stuff. So I have like this going on, right? That's what I'm controlling as I talk. So there's no USB block, as far as I know. When you plug USB into the computer, it is output 1 that it's hearing. So it is this block, output 1, your regular output. So that's what the computer will get. And most programs, I think including OBS, I don't know if I can do it while I'm streaming, it'll see the AxeFX as output 1, right? So that's where you can get the digital USB signal into OBS. From there, OBS has like a, let me see if I can pull it up. And Vedran, I see your question. I will look. Oh boy, I have a lot of stuff. So I have other stuff going on in OBS, but from here you'll see something like this, right? I have the names on the left. You can choose a monitor thing, and in settings, you will choose what output on your computer is the monitor output. And with each one, you can choose monitor and output. That's what you want. You want to hear it through the monitor that you've chosen in preferences. I don't want to crash my stream, so I'm not going to pull that up. But in OBS, you can choose a monitor output on your computer, what, you know, your interface or your headphone output of the computer itself. And then in that advanced thing, it's the little gears under your audio mixer on OBS. You can choose which one you monitor. So you might want to monitor through there. I did that when I first started like setting up, and I said, oh, let's just run it through the computer. But I found out I preferred using like a hardware mixer. That's just me. A lot of people like running it through the computer and have a ton of things, but I feel like I can't hear it or hear exactly what's being heard. And there might be a slight delay because it's all USB and all that. So I prefer an analog or hardware mixer personally. But it is possible, and most gamers will use like OBS to handle everything. Maybe now you have like the Go XLR and all the things. Well, Go XLR is kind of going out, but you know the new podcast mixer from someone, Rode has one. So yeah, hardware helps a little bit for this, but you can run it just through USB and OBS. Okay, back to Vedran. Yeah, okay, cool. When I press bank up, and if I want to select the same button one on the other bank, I can't because per preset override, with the other buttons I can select. Try sometimes to assign a BPM tap to one preset, and when you select crunch, the BPM will be activated on that button. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm understanding. If I want to select the same button, I can't. Yeah, so when you have... Let me see. Let me go to, do I have a blank something? Let's blank something out. I'm not using that. Let's clear this. Clear. In the current layout, yes. Oh boy. Don't want to set all that up again. Okay, so we have a blank layout here. The way preset selection works is that it has to be a preset switch. Right? It has to be a preset switch. And we're using the banks to select it. So bank 1, I have 4 apparently. Preset 1 of 4, preset 2 of 4, and so on. That's why the bank switch works, because it has to be a preset switch. If you have changed this into a tap tempo, then it won't do it. That's just how it works. It needs to be a preset button. So you have to keep it a preset button, because use preset override. So on bank 2, Yeah, if you set an override, it changes what the switch does. So right now it's a preset. Let me go to like factory presets. So there's actually something here, right? If I choose an override, it's something else, right? Let me just do this real quick. Let's make it you said tap tempo. Boop, boop. Right? Oops. So now it's tap tempo. That is what it is. If it's a tap tempo, you can't use that button to select presets anymore because you've changed it. There's no way to make the bank switch change this back because you're in the preset that it's telling it to don't be a preset anymore. So I don't know if there's a solution. It's set preset on bank 2, but I can't select bank 2 on the same button. Yes, because you've changed it to a tap tempo. That's you probably want to use layout links. Is there any way to change the same button on another bank? The problem isn't the banks. The problem is that you've set an override to not be a preset anymore, right? If I get rid of this, now it's my preset switch. But if you've chosen to make this an override, that's all there is to it. You've said, I want this switch to be tap tempo in this preset. You can't change that back because you've chosen that. So what you can do instead is use layout links if you want to do that. So let me clear another one. I don't even know what this is. Let me get rid of this one. Clear layout. Okay. So what you can do is when you choose that, let me set this up a little bit. Let me set this up a little bit real quick. Sorry. Utility tap. Okay, we're just going to look at these two switches for now. So right now, I have it on my pedal. This is a FC12, but it's the same thing for the 9. I have it as a preset switch. And what you like is when you hit the preset, it changes like to tap tempo or scenes or whatever, right? I'm actually going to add that real quick. Copy that. And scene 2. We're just going to do a few here. Number. Okay, so I'm in layout 5. I'm in layout number 5, right? I can set it so that when I go here and choose a preset, I use a layout link. And when I tap it, it'll go to layout 6. It should. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. This needs to go here. Okay, so I'm going to tap it. It's on the floor. I can't show you. I'm going to tap it, and let's see what happens. So now, if you watch here, it changed to layout 6, and it has all the things I want. Now I can change scenes. I have tap tempo on that button. So instead of using a preset override, the override is what's causing the problem. You've told it to never be this anymore, never be a preset switch. So you can't press it because you've changed it. But you can use a layout link like I showed you. So when I select a preset, I press it and it changes from 5 to 6 on its own. Now I have scenes and tap tempo whenever I want. You probably want to put a switch here that goes back or another layout link or something to layout 5. So I can go back pressing the switch, right? So I'm going to press that switch. And now we're on layout 5. But if I select a preset, it'll do it in one step. It did it on its own, and now I have tempo, scenes, and all that, right? So maybe that's a better way to choose a preset and then change all the switches to what you want. That is probably a better way to do that. If you use an override, that's it. That's all there is. You cannot do anything about it. I want to choose a preset here, but it's an override. Sorry, it is not a preset anymore. So that's a choice you made to get rid of the function from that switch. There's nothing else to do. You have to get rid of the override and perhaps use this layout link I just showed you. Yeah? So that'll work. There's many videos on layout links, and on the forum, if you search it, I'm sure you'll find that. But that's maybe a better way to make the switches change to something else when you choose a preset, right? Maybe it's better to set a bank up and bank down to change layouts. Yes. Not preset override, because if you override it, you've told it to never do this again. You said do something else, not what you originally had. That is exactly what override is for. So maybe it's better to change layouts. You know, you have 8 usable ones, the master layout as well. Maybe that's a better way to do it. So now when I'm playing, I change to that preset. Now I can go to scene 2, scene 3, whatever. And I have tap tempo. I can go back, select another preset. I don't have it set up, but. So that might be a better solution for changing presets and also changing the switches at the same time. Just remember to put a way back, a way to get back to your preset select or whatever it is. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, with limited switches, there are ways to get many functions from the same thing without tap dancing, as they say. No problem. Thank you for tuning in. It's amazing how a platform like this, I can talk to people from all over the world. It's just always fascinating to me. Got you. Okay, so let me go back to my preset. I think it was 500. No, I don't know. So we're talking about the preamp as economy in the cab block. I'm actually not even using it. So it was cab block, right? So where is it? So, okay, let me turn this off again. One sec, quick camera break. Okay. In the cab block, you can use a preamp, a microphone preamplifier. This is for the microphone on the cab. You can simulate a preamp like in the console, in the recording room. Since I have it set to none, I'm not even using it. So that's why this is the default setting. That's why it says economy here. I'm just not using it. Let's see if we can hear the differences. So I'm going to go to this tone here. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to clean it up a little with my guitar volume. So because the preamp is set to none, this doesn't matter. I'm not using it. I could use it, and we have high quality or economy. I'm going to start with this. Maybe we'll go to a clean tone if we don't hear the difference, but let's mess around with it. So there's a bunch here. Let's use tape. I don't even know what these do. I haven't used these in a long time. These were introduced on the AxeFx2. It was all the rage. We all tried it out, and now I don't use it because the tones are so good. I don't need this sort of saturation, but some people use it to great effect. So you need these first. You need to use it preamp type, and then you need to turn up the drive and saturation. So let's see what this does. Actually, I am going to use a clean tone. Let's use a clean tone. Turn off my delay and everything. So here's our bass tone. We use the neck pickup. Okay. There's that. Let's use the tape and let's start using drive and saturation, which is what the preamp would add to the tone. Okay, it got a little thicker at this area here. It definitely distorted past that. All right, I'm going to turn up just a little bit. Right, so I don't like that. I'm going to turn it down. And now let's try saturation. Kind of a little bit of compression. The high end went away a little bit. Now I can turn the drive up. I'm watching this VU meter here on the... Okay, We also have EQ here for the mic preamp specifically. So for some people, they want that sort of effect of the preamp on your sound. And this is what this is. This is all economy mode. Let's go to high quality, see if we hear a difference. I don't hear too much difference for me. There's a slight change in the mids. Slight change in the mids. It's very slight. I don't know if I'm setting this up the best way to hear the differences. Also because I'm on a clean tone. Now let's go to this slightly overdriven tone. Very overdriven, actually. Yeah, I'm not hearing too much difference, just a little bit in the mids, and I could even be making that up, but it's a slight difference. But I don't even use this. Like some people, this is like, I think this was back when, you know, Cliff is always trying to like be more realistic with the amp modeling and like improve it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no problem. So this is the preamp for the microphone on the cabinet in a recording studio. That's what all this is. So I don't even use that. A microphone preamp. I could say names, but I forget. Neve? I don't know. Some of those, right? There's a list. Anyway, yeah, I think this was developed back before he had like the next amp modeling like epiphany idea. So he was finding other ways, or people were asking for it. Of course, that always helps. So I think he put it in there, and this was way back in the Axe 2 days, if I remember correctly. And it did, for some people, help create a certain tone, like a more analog, saturated studio thing, more real. You know, everyone's chasing that. So I think it was just put in here so people can still do that. I don't really know anybody who uses it, or no one talks about it anymore, but it's there. And if you want to try, I mean, we just tried one type. I'm sure there's many different ways to do it, but yeah, I don't use it because I feel like the amps already, especially with this update, give a nice saturation, a full sound. And again, the way I do it is I use the tone controls with the amp, and then I use the EQ in the amp block, the output EQ, the like as a post EQ for everything to fit it in the mix. Maybe that's what this did before. There's EQ, there's tone, you know, there's saturation, things like that. So I feel like I don't need to use it just because of it already sounds great to me. But yeah, the cab block has a lot of things in it. You have to remember it's the cabinet with a microphone in a room. So there's the cabinet you choose. There's EQ for each IR. There's the preamp we just talked about, which is the mic, the preamp for the mic on the cab, your high cuts and low cuts and stuff. And then you have room. Like you can add small reverb, basically, to it. I've tried this from time to time. Doesn't ever do what I need it to. This is like reflections and that sort of stuff. Some people use this to change the tone. A little more boxy tone. That's hall. I forgot what this one sounds like. But I don't need that, especially when I play live. There's enough like room sound or whatever going on in real life, so I don't want to add more.